Welcome to Left Night with Kendra Dawsey. And now, here's your host, Kendra Dawsey.
Hi, everyone. How's it going today?
How are you?
I'm doing good. Things keep going.
Yeah.
I had a little bit of a upset stomach earlier this week, so then I ate a lot of kale. I'm like Gwyneth Paltrow, basically, and now I feel great.
That's interesting, because to me, every time I eat kale, I feel like I just ate a Brillo pad, and I don't like how it feels. So it does the opposite to me, but to each their own.
We all have our own microbiomes, we all have our things going on. You might have anti-kale bacteria. Maybe my bacteria just love kale. Maybe you have like anti-kale eating New Jersey bacteria in your stomach.
Yeah, different bacteria for different folks.
Yes, exactly.
Kendra, what is on your mind this week?
Man, well, there is a good amount on my mind this week, and I will let you know, ladies and gentlemen, and people of the non-binary persuasion. So the sun is shining, the weather is nice out, COVID rates are down, and all of these factors, instead of encouraging people to go outside and enjoy life, only makes them have more and more deranged tweets. Tonight on Left Night, we are going to give you a roundup of the finest tweets Meltdown May has to offer. Because what else is there to do nowadays other than act completely batshit online? Now, I did just paint a rosy picture, but there has been a lot happening this May. There's the ongoing occupation in Palestine, for one. The crypto money line has been going up and down. Chrissy Teigen has been revealed to be like a mean person. People are going through a lot. So there's a lot to melt down about, but let's get some tweets up on the screen and let's see what there is to melt down about. So here's the first one. This one's one of my favorites. It's one of the finest Meltdown May lines. So we have Brigitte Gabriel, conservative author and anti-Islam activist, who apparently thinks you should buy Boko Haram and Taliban hummus at the store like SodaStream. I don't want to deny her trauma because she did grow up as a religious minority during the Lebanese Civil War, but I do want to publicly state how goofy this entire tweet is. Also, at this point, boycotting the Taliban would probably involve not paying U.S. taxes. So thanks, Brigitte.
Personally, I'm buying twice as much Boko Haram stuff as I used to. So, do you think we can Do you think we can get Boko Haram to sponsor our show, or do you think that's where this whole game ends?
Oh, if Boko Haram, Nigerians would be very mad at us. They might try to kidnap me, honestly.
Yes.
Because Boko Haram is like Western civilization is haram, I believe.
Forbidden.
Is what it means. Forbidden. Well, yeah, yes. Haram. Yeah. Not great. I mean.
And one of my favorite parts about that is I read a thing once with the leader of Boko Haram said he was naming the parts of Western education that he got very mad about, and like education was one of evolution was one of them, and then one of the other ones was he really didn't like the water cycle, like he refused to believe that water evaporated from the oceans into the sky.
Oof. Maybe I won't boycott Boko Haram, but maybe I'll get them some basic books on the water cycle in the world, and things will get a little bit better, right?
I just didn't expect that one was a political one.
Fuck precipitation.
Fuck precipitation.
Yes. God, man. All right, let's look at what's next. So we have Eve Barlow, who is a woman who she's a journalist. She's very mad that people who aren't Zionists tend to disagree with her on terms and things that related to Israel. So after she posted the first tweet where she said, is Eve Fartlow trending yet? Do better, besties. I think all of the responses were just people saying Eve Fartlow. So kind of had it coming.
Eve has had just bad tweets. But I appreciate that she has just posted through it.
She's having a meltdown May. Like she's having a meltdown May.
It's like a really strong meltdown, May. It's
Yeah.
like if you're gonna do it, go hard in the paint. And
Exactly.
Eve is not letting off the gas.
Yeah, she really isn't. I don't think people are giving her enough credit when it comes to solving geopolitical crises, though, because, like, as she says, let's just play some house music to save the world. You know, if we want like a ceasefire in Gaza, just play some house music at Hamas, and then and at IDF, and everything's going to be great. That's we don't need peacemakers.
Well, until they decide that it's not actually house music, it's actually harboring Hamas music.
Oh God. Ooh, 2 on the nose. Okay, let's go to the next one. All right, so as we all know, Pride Month is coming up. Pride Month, hell yeah. And that means that it's time for white people online to be really, really annoying, all right? That is what happens each and every Pride Month. I hope it is clear that no one should be trying to outwoke another person through the romantic and sexual relationships that they have. It's completely fine if you want to be monogamous. It doesn't make you a capitalist. It doesn't mean that you necessarily own your girlfriend's means of production. It doesn't mean that you own. Anyway, yeah, everyone was mad at this person because this doesn't really make sense. It's not like there's like a landlord if you do monogamy, right? Like, and then this also makes it sound like, oh, polygamy is like not capitalism. So like,
right.
obviously, if you're like a Saudi Arabian dude with 4 wives that you have in separate houses, that's socialism. That's relationship socialism.
This is one of those tweets where, like, if you click on it, you realize, oh, this is like a real person. But you could convince me that an AI wrote this just to make sure that you'd get 80 retweets.
I mean, yeah, that's also possible. Most people were like, this does not make any sense. Yeah. I really don't. I don't think this makes sense. So don't compare relationship styles to capitalism. Right. Maybe just think about the dynamics within that relationship.
Right.
Just a nice.
This is sort of that whole brand of tweet and opinion that if you just poke it and prod it long enough, it's just I'm mad that I don't have a significant other. Like,
well, I think they might have a few. Actually, I'm not sure. I don't know. Anyway, let's not give this person any more attention. Okay. We need to get to should cops pride discourse, but actually that's not next.
Yes, that of course.
So next one, The Guardian was literally ratioed in their article about how Shrek isn't that great. And let me say something to The Guardian. How dare you come after a pillar of our modern civilization like this? Is nothing sacred in this world? This and your ugly ass teeth are why people hate Britain, okay? Like, look at that ratio. What poor person, what like freaking intern wrote about how Shrek sucked and everyone hated it? God. Don't do this, basically. Yes. That's why
Shrek's great. I don't even have anything funny to say about this.
I'm pro Shrek, okay? Yeah. Let's go to the next one. So the next one is from that's okay. That's all right. So yeah, we have the Antiracist Pig. This is a
anti-white racism.
Anti-white racist pig. My apologies. This is a Twitter account that is mad at Steven Universe for having an anti-racism PSA. So watch out, Rebecca Sugar. This Twitter account with 30 followers that reblogs Stone Toss is coming after you. One
of the worst genres of Twitter person is the animal that does a thing when whatever.
Yeah. But it's especially bad when it's like very reactionary.
Right.
It's like someone was mad at the racist dog one and they're like, we need to defend the white race. And then.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. And yeah. So, all right. And next, let's see what else there is. Here we go. Next one is Amy Therese, who, just so you know, lives in Australia. I can't think of a better punchline than that, honestly, to this tweet. She lives in Australia, which used to have way more people that were indigenous, and then a little something happened. I wonder what that is. Who could say? Who could say? Who could say? Anyway, let's.
I remember. Can I just say?
Yeah.
I remember when Amy Therese had like no followers and nobody ever liked anything that she said, and people just retweeted the hell out of her, and all of a sudden, all of the time, her tweets are everywhere, and now she gets tons of likes on the tweets. So I love, as much as I love Meltdown May and I love the art of bad Twitter, it might be bad that it keeps elevating certain people to certain platforms.
Yeah, I mean, so I tried to put people, like if someone said something really dumb, but they're a small account, I usually like block it. I don't think I'm hoping the anti-white racism pig doesn't get like 1 million followers from being on this podcast. But yeah, and then also most of the people we know are awful, right? So let's go to the next slide. Basically, she is employed by being awful. Candace Owens. She's mad at Shakespearean English. And then I probably should have like deleted the like Daily Wire thing. But yeah, she's mad because Demi Lovato came out as a person who uses they them, and Candace Owens is very mad. She just had to tweet about it.
Yeah.
Candace,
I don't even feel like Candace's heart is even in it anymore. Like, it all feels very much just like a grift. Like, you people love this. Come on, keep giving it to me.
I will. Yeah, if I as a leftist were like, oh my God, like, I hate like eating diapers, she would be like, oh my God, the left just hates this because it's American right. I love eating dirty diapers and there's nothing you can do about it. That's Candace Owens. And then last but not least, we are both technically comedians. We got to talk about this guy. We got to talk about Joe Rogue, Fear Factor. I don't even know what the hell else.
The Man Show. The second incarnation of The Man Show.
I didn't realize he was on the second incarnation of The Man Show. Would not have suspected Jimmy Kimmel would be
right.
Where he is right now.
It's truly, between Joe Rogan, Jimmy Kimmel, and then like Adam Carolla, a truly large amount of our cultural capital is dominated by former Man Show hosts.
Yeah, it's weird. Joe Rogan has the wild belief.
News radio, too, somebody said.
Oh, wait, what'd you say?
News radio.
Yeah. Joe Rogan has the wild belief that straight white men won't be allowed to talk anymore. Zach, have you ever been not allowed to talk as a straight white man?
Some might argue that I talk too much.
So I'm guessing you don't feel silent. So yes, straight white men. I mean, this tweet basically says it all. Straight white men won't be allowed to talk. Rogan, a straight white man, says to 190 million listeners during a 3-hour podcast. If we had that many listeners, oh my God, we could do so much. But he just complains that no one wants to listen. Like, people make fun of him online.
Very cool stuff. Extremely good that this guy is extremely popular.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I just quite simply don't get it. If you are a Joe Rogan fan, I don't get it. Try to help me understand, but maybe I could help you understand more interesting podcasts. Honestly, most podcasts, in my opinion, aren't too interesting because it's like not very interesting people talking and thinking that they're way more interesting, right? And like, I know this is podcast adjacent, but we do things to try to make it interesting, right?
Yeah. Yes.
But like podcasts like Joe Rogan's, and there's a few others, it's literally just dudes having a conversation and it being recorded. It's like I could go to a bar and listen to like fucking idiots talk about how we shouldn't get the vaccine. Anyway, those are my thoughts. So yeah, that was a little bit of Meltdown May for everyone here, and we'll be back after this commercial break.
Today's Left Night is brought to you by Birthright Trips. No, not the ones that you're thinking of. No, a different one. There's a brand new Birthright trip specifically for those wanting to visit the promised land New Jersey. So that's right. So if you are from New Jersey, or your parents or grandparents are from New Jersey, or you claim Italian American heritage, or you just don't know how to pump your gas, or if you have a favorite Bruce Springsteen album, you may be eligible to visit the ancestral home of your people in New Jersey, the Garden State, baby. And as a added bonus, I've recently been approved to become a Birthright of New Jersey tour guide. So you can sign up to go with me, and I will take you around to all the spots. We'll go to a Wawa, we'll hit the boardwalk, I'll take you to my high school, I'll take you to the bowling alley parking lot by my high school that I used to get high in, Asbury Park we'll go to, I don't know, we could go to like Princeton and ground for sculpture. We can go over there if you want. It's up to you. Listen, I'll just bring you around. We'll visit we'll go to my friend Mike's house. We'll have a good time, okay? And it'll enrich your understanding of the land that you belong to. Also, we're going to take a page from the book of the other birthright and not tell you about any of that stuff. But you're going to have a good time, and you're going to eat a lot of chicken parm. And you're going to gain a militant devotion towards the preservation of this great state.
Thank you. Today, we want to turn a special focus towards a group that goes under-discussed in left circles, the children. While they no doubt have some reactionary tendencies, for example, they're absolutely terrified of new things, and no matter how much they are pampered, they always cry about how things are unfair to them. But it's also true that there's no socialist future without them. Before they're even old enough to speak, they are inundated with propaganda that ingrains quantities like jingoism, gender conformity, and most of all, consumerism. Even the most heartfelt educational children's programming teaches one thing above all: sit down and do what the TV tells you. This may be a harsh read, but me and Big Bird have had beef since he did that DoorDash commercial. Why are you doing that to your neighbors, Big Bird? You think Snuffleupagus is going to pay his rent on gig economy wages? He's an elephant. He needs more space than a studio. So Antonio Gramsci was the first one to write about the concept of cultural hegemony, wherein the ruling class imposes its values on others and portrays them as universal ones. He never lived to see the dawn of children's entertainment industry, but I'm sure he would have some things to say about the way that it reinforces ruling class ideology. He would probably be saying it on a Tumblr with 6 followers, but he'd definitely be saying it. I'm sure what you're thinking is you're an adult, you have your own skills, you don't have to care about babies. Well, to put it bluntly, you're getting old. In order to have a revolutionary tendency, there needs to be people who are young enough to hold up a revolution without their back giving out. We all want to fight against the fascist USA, but you can't do that if your knees are the shape that they are. You're pushing 30. Come on. And the last decade, we've seen a huge growth for the American left. And if that's going to continue, we need to refresh in the ranks. And who are we building a better future for, if not for those who use it? Socialism, like Wu-Tang, is for the children. When you think about it, children are a lot like your comrades. They understand that they need to be dependent on others. They have an imaginative sense of what the world might look like, and they are also lying to you when they tell you they've done their theory readings. It's important to make sure that children not only are given the tools to succeed, but also the upbringing to understand the true nature of the world they live in, unless they're the children of the ruling class, in which case, blah, 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 Romanovs, With that in mind, I'd like to welcome Adi Heller, our senior infant engagement correspondent, who has prepared a video for us.
All right. I am Adi Heller, senior infant engagement correspondent for Left Nite, and I am here. I am deeply embedded in the ground level work of infant engagement here. We've got our owls with bells, so I'm legit. I've got a 2.5-year-old named Sydney, and I've got a 3-month-old named Naomi, and I am doing my darndest to raise them with a strong political and social justice consciousness. And I am here to talk about some of the things that I've learned in my time so far as a lefty dad, lefty parent. I'm here specifically today to talk about this book. A is for Activist. It's by Innocenta Nagara. It is on many a lefty parent's children's bookshelves, and it is a super useful book for parents to have as they try to build consciousness, awareness, and language and ethos of engagement for their children as they grow into themselves. It uses the classic alphabetical order format for its ideas. So it starts with A is for activist, and right out the gate asks, are you an activist? I think it's pulling children in, and it's centering its education on them and their identity formation, which is so crucial as children and humans develop. It moves through a number of really fantastic images, symbols, and kind of abstract concepts that drive and guide social justice work. It goes from activists to banners to co-ops, small d democracy, and it really moves into a number of different areas. It's got feminism. It goes into this gorgeous page about different amazing foods. And as we go along, it lists in J is justicia. One thing I really like about this book is its diversity and representation. Of family types, it features families of same colors, of different colors, of mixed colors, and different gender distributions of the partners in the books. And that is something I'm always trying to prioritize in the images I expose my kids to. You can see it's also just got gorgeous and engaging colors, artwork. It's got images of knights and liberty, which kids are really attracted to, but then it uses that as kind of leverage. It starts with all of this royalty and says, that is fun to play, but when we make decisions, we vote. And it uses rhymes for every single page and every single concept. It celebrates May Day. And as we move along, it moves into water rights and environmental justice. And finally, it finishes on a pretty incredible punchline of Z is for Zapatistas, of course. And I love having some positive representation of revolutionaries for my kids. Some other pros of this book is that it engages the kids. There's a little game that starts at the letter C, where it has the kids looking for a cat, which is on every single page, including the cover. And I think those sorts of fun little diversions are going to keep a kid interested in this book. Kids choose what they want to read in most houses and in mine. And so they better have fun reading it or they just won't come back. On that note, one of my cons is that I think the book could more directly motivate or connect the parents who are reading this book for ways to engage their kids in conversation. The first page asks, A is for activist, are you an activist? And that's really, I think, the only question in the whole book as far as question that you ask your kid while you're reading this. When I read it, I do turn a number of the pages into questions for Sydney. And I think that is really essential to starting the learning process for kids. And my other kind of gripe with this book is I think it could use some guidance on the back as far as age ranges to bring it to. I tried this originally with Sydney before she was very aware at like 6 months, and it's very heady and the words just kind of washed over her. And so I think some parents might try this for a younger age, not get any response, and could tune out. So I think it's the sort of book with its headier concepts that could use some kind of guidance for the parents as far as who to bring it to. But all that said, A is for Activist is a killer book and one that I love bringing to my daughter and she loves looking at. Signing off, Adi Heller.
All right, awesome. So we actually have our senior infant engagement correspondent with us today for a very, very brief talk. Adi, how's it going?
It's going so good. I'm here in my basement because it's bedtime upstairs.
Oh,
I see. That is
exciting.
that is among the worst things I think about being a small child is you don't even realize how outrageous your bedtime is.
So early.
Very true. Very true. So Adi, you have small children. You're trying to raise them to be red diaper babies. Do you have any insight on parenting in this capitalist world?
Dear God, it is, what Zach was saying hit me so hard about the TV's message is fundamentally watch the TV, no matter what show you show them, right?
Yeah.
And that is just true for everything and everywhere. We named my oldest daughter, Sydney, in part to give her a gender neutral name, to let her go through life and not be defined when people see her name in that way, that sort of thing. And the other day she was at her first dentist appointment and they had the treasure box at the end to give you a prize. And the woman took out a shark and a tiara. And Sydney chose the shark. And what did that woman do? She said, you should also have the tiara. You're a princess, right? And that is, to me, like the wall that a parent trying to raise a child in this era is dealing with. You're going to do your best, and really all you can end up teaching is confidence and critical thinking.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, no, you're right. Also, like, why do we keep trying to make princesses a thing, Yes. Like it's like, okay, it should be like a shark and then I don't know, like a non-princess gendered thing.
A bicycle, whatever, a frog. Anyway.
Yeah.
I know the two genders joke is like done to death, but the shark and tiara as the two genders is very funny to me.
It's not bad.
Yeah, that's also true.
I wish I took a picture.
Are there any other books that you would recommend to parents out there?
Yeah. Ibram Kendi has an adaptation of How to Be an Anti-Racist for people with littles. It's called it's called Anti-Racist Baby. And it makes a hero out of the baby who has a aggressively anti-racist ethos. And it's 8 steps. It is very heady. And my kid does not care. She has learned the words to it. And so I'd recommend that. There's another series that's called Feminist Baby that I think has its pros and cons. It does not have a strong anti-capitalist message, which is a challenge, but we got to fight the war on many fronts. So, and it's hard to find it. The rest of my anti-capitalist baby library is stuff we've had to rewrite of books that already exist that were too upsetting.
I understand that. Yeah. And rewriting, copyright's fake, just rewrite things. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Adi, for being on here and for making that little video segment. That was really fun and really cute. And it almost makes me want to have kids. So thank you so much. So that is our show tonight, everyone. Please stick around for Quarantine Action Wrestling. And
I'm fighting tonight.
Oh, hell yeah. And don't forget to, oh no, Zach froze. Don't forget to sign up for our Patreon. You're back. So that you could support all of these really awesome things. And we will see you next week.